What if I told you that one of Hollywood's most respected actors may have left behind a secret so explosive it was never meant to be heard? When James Mason died in 1984, his Beverly Hills estate revealed reels of priceless lost films. But a decade later, something even darker surfaced, a cassette labeled "Do Not Play." On it, Mason's alleged raw confessions about Hollywood's hidden scandals and his co-stars' darkest secrets. Collectors begged, studios panicked, but the truth was buried. So here's the question. Was this just rumor or a silenced message Mason wanted the world to uncover? James Neville Mason was born on May 15, 1909 in Huddersfield, West Yorkshire. His father, John Mason, ran a successful wool business that exported fine cloth across Europe, while his mother, Mabel, came from a refined Lancaster family. She imagined a respectable career for her son, perhaps in architecture, yet she also recognized his natural gift for expression. Quietly, she arranged elocution lessons to soften his Yorkshire accent, giving him the voice that would one day mesmerize the world. At 14, Mason won a scholarship to Marlborough College, one of England's most prestigious schools. But life there was not easy. He struggled with a painful stammer that left him isolated until a drama teacher urged him to join the theater group. On stage, Mason discovered freedom. Speaking Shakespeare's words gave him confidence, joy, and a new sense of purpose. In 1927, Mason entered Cambridge University to study architecture, fulfilling his parents' hopes for a safe career. But while he sat through lectures, his heart belonged to the Marlowe Society, the university's theater club. Night after night, he performed in Greek tragedies, modern dramas, and everything in between. Acting was no longer a pastime, it was destiny. By 1930, his father offered him a secure position in the family firm, a guarantee of wealth and comfort. Mason shocked him by turning it down, instead joining a repertory theater in London. The decision created a rift with his family, but set the path of his life. The early years were grueling. He toured small theaters, sometimes playing to half-empty halls, sleeping on stone floors, and pawning his pocket watch for food. Then playwright J.B. Priestley spotted his talent and cast him in a West End production. Overnight, James Mason was transformed from a struggling actor into a rising star, praised for his intensity and presence. When World War II broke out, Mason made a choice that divided opinion. He refused combat duty, registering as a conscientious objector. Many called him a coward, and some studios blacklisted him. But Mason still served, driving ambulances during the Blitz, pulling survivors from burning buildings night after night. Though more dangerous than many combat roles, his service did little to silence critics, yet it revealed his quiet courage. In 1943, his career changed with The Man in Gray. He convinced the director to let him play the villain, and the performance made him a star. 2 years later, The Seventh Veil transformed him into an international sensation. The film, made for less than $100,000, stunned the industry by earning millions worldwide. In Britain, it even outsold Gone with the Wind. Mason's performance as a controlling music teacher captivated audiences and redefined the leading man as morally complex. Behind the scenes, he clashed furiously with co-star Ann Todd. Their arguments splashed across newspapers. Reporters dubbed them cement and dynamite, and Todd later claimed they had an affair during filming. Despite critical acclaim, Mason was excluded from the Academy Awards because of technical rules. The snub was bitter, and though he later earned 3 nominations, he never forgot that rejection. In 1947, Mason left Britain for Hollywood, a move that caused outrage. Post-war taxes in Britain were so high that he risked losing almost everything he earned. To many, leaving was selfish, and the timing, during a trade dispute between British and American studios, worsened the backlash. His reputation at home never fully recovered, but in Hollywood his fame only grew. Mason also had a talent for eccentric headlines. In 1946, he adopted a lion cub from a circus charity. At first, neighbors were amused to see it roaming his estate, but as it grew into a roaring 200-pound predator, amusement turned to fear. It escaped during a thunderstorm, sparking panic until it was captured with help from zoo experts. Later, it disrupted a garden party, terrifying guests. Mason was forced to send the animal away, but the bizarre story followed him for years. In 1949, Mason bought a sprawling Beverly Hills mansion once owned by Buster Keaton. During renovations, workers broke through a false wall and uncovered reels of nitrate film. Among them were Keaton's long-lost masterpieces, including the General and the boat. Mason realized their importance and spent thousands preserving them, donating the originals to the Library of Congress. At a time when studios were discarding old reels, his choice preserved cinema treasures that might otherwise have been lost. The discovery helped spark modern film preservation and revived interest in Buster Keaton's genius, but his own life was falling apart. By the 1960s, his marriage to Pamela had collapsed into scandal. Their divorce was one of Hollywood's ugliest, filled with accusations of cruelty and adultery. Their daughter, Portland, testified in court about absurd fights, even over which parent a family dog loved more. Their son, Morgan, later battled addiction, pointing to those years as the source of his troubles. Mason himself spiraled into gambling. In Monte Carlo, he lost nearly $750,000. At one point, he pawned his Golden Globe Award to pay debts, only to buy it back days later at a higher price. The addiction left him financially drained and emotionally scarred, yet he also turned toward compassion. After witnessing animal cruelty on a set, Mason became one of the first major actors to champion animal rights. In 1968, he donated $100,000 to launch the American branch of the World Society for the Protection of Animals. He adopted strays, campaigned against cruelty in circuses, testified before Congress, and even rescued elephants. Long before celebrity activism became fashionable, Mason used his fame to fight for animals. His acting career continued to test boundaries. In 1962, he starred in Stanley Kubrick's Lolita, based on Vladimir Nabokov's controversial novel. He accepted a huge pay cut to make the project possible, read the book 15 times, and studied psychology to understand his unsettling role as Humbert Humbert. Though censored and banned in several countries, Mason's performance was praised as haunting and unforgettable. Some accused him of glorifying immorality, but critics hailed his daring. In Georgie Girl, 1966, Mason again played a morally questionable older man. His nuanced performance earned him an Oscar nomination and proved he could make silence and subtle gestures as powerful as dialogue. Even in smaller projects, his commitment was unmatched. For Disneyland's 20,000 Leagues Under the Sea ride, he insisted on recording inside a cramped submarine set at 3 in the morning to capture authenticity. He even tested a diving suit off the California coast. In The Verdict, 1982, Mason played a sharp defense attorney, earning another Oscar nomination. Behind the scenes, he mentored Paul Newman, whose career was fading. Mason's guidance helped Newman deliver one of his finest performances, showing Mason's influence extended beyond his own roles. Mason's final performance came in The Shooting Party, 1984, a poignant film about fading traditions on the eve of war. Just months after completing it, Mason died of a heart attack at 75. His ashes were laid to rest in Switzerland, not far from Charlie Chaplin's grave, linking two icons of cinema. After his death, stories about Mason's discoveries and secrets resurfaced. The tale of his Beverly Hills estate and the lost Buster Keaton films stunned the industry. Rumors of the cassette labeled "Do Not Play" added another layer of intrigue. Though no tape has ever been verified, Mason's diaries revealed his despair, his jealousy of peers, his battles with addiction, and his disillusionment with the industry. Over his career, Mason appeared in more than 150 films, moving effortlessly between genres. From The Seventh Veil to North by Northwest, from A Star is Born to Lolita, he proved himself one of the most versatile actors of his generation. His narration of The Search for the Nile in 1972 drew millions, showcasing his voice as one of cinema's great instruments. Though he never won an Academy Award, his performances remain influential and are studied for their emotional depth. In the end, James Mason remains a man of mystery, elegant yet reckless, compassionate yet troubled. He preserved the genius of Buster Keaton, fought for animals, and left behind performances that still captivate. But perhaps his greatest legacy is the contradiction he embodied, brilliance wrapped in shadow. So what do you think? Was Mason a hero, a rebel, or both? Let us know in the comments. And don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more stories. Thanks for watching.